Hello students! This week we're going to discuss your educational journey here at South Texas College by looking at degree plans generally and then the specific degree plan for your major. And of course, part of this journey will include exploring the tool called DegreeWorks. So first things first, we need to define what is meant by the term degree plan, as it is at the heart of everything that you're going to be doing academically. So at STC and other colleges and universities that you attend, that you transfer to, you will follow a document called a degree plan for your particular selected major. Once you declare what your major is, your degree plan is set. So what is it? What is a degree plan? A degree plan is a plan or a guide which maps out what classes you take, and these can be ones that are required and also those that you get to choose, and approximately when you take those particular classes for a specific major. Now, remember I just said a degree plan tells you approximately when you take courses. So you can move classes around time-wise as long as there are no prerequisites to get into a class. So prerequisites, you see the definition there, those are classes that you must take before you take another class. So a generic example we can all relate to, you can't take a calculus class until you have taken college algebra. So any prerequisites will be listed in your course catalog and also in the course description. Now, just a couple of tips concerning selecting a major and then moving forward with that major. So first, please do your research before selecting a major. Explore your different options, reflect on your own interests, your passions, the skill sets you have, your abilities, your personality. Go ahead and talk with your advisors, talk with faculty, also talk with other students who are currently in the major that you're considering. You should even consider talking with individuals who are already performing that dream career in your field, and do some research also on what you can do with that major in terms of a future job and career and the amount of education required for it, the salary, the job outlook, the job prospects. And also you want to look at the pros and the cons of that career that you're aiming for. So at STC, we do have an office called Career and Employer Services, and they're amazing, and they can help you in selecting a major through an online program called Career Cruising. They also help you learn more about career readiness. So please certainly consider visiting with them. Now, my second tip, it's really important that once you have declared a major that you actually follow the degree plan to the letter, because you want to stay on track. Or a better way to say it is you need to stay on track. If you take classes outside of your degree plan unintentionally, it's going to take you more time and more money to complete your degree. And I think we can all agree that time and money are precious, so let's try to stay on track with our degree plan. Now, of course, there are cases where students intentionally take classes outside of their degree plan, right? Maybe a particular interest, or they're trying to decide on a major. But if you have declared a major, please stick to your degree plan. And my last tip is that, of course, you want to try to stick with your major, but if you do decide that, nope, this major is not what I want, after careful consideration, you can change it. But again, do your research to be sure of the major that you are planning on changing to, right? Also, use some of the features that are available in DegreeWorks to help you see the classes that you've already taken, how they're going to apply to the new major or new majors that you might select. And in particular, you might consider using something called the What If feature in DegreeWorks. And we're going to explore that more in your assignment this week. So here on the page, we have an example of just one of the many degree plans at STC. This happens to be a degree plan for sociology. Now, when you go to find your degree plan for whatever major is yours, you will see a similar layout of the required and the options for classes and the recommendations for the semester or when you take those classes. Now, we're going to revisit the sociology degree plan as our example in a minute, but first I want to talk about how this actual degree plan is put together. I want you to be able to understand why you're taking the classes you're taking, the components of the degree plan, if you will. So in order to understand how a degree plan is actually put together, we have to start with something called the core curriculum. And this is really, really important, guys. And what exactly is the core curriculum? Well, I do please want you to read this entire paragraph on the screen if you need to put it on pause and actually read it. But I do want to also kind of summarize it for you. Okay, so please read it, but the basics are: the core curriculum is what every student who is pursuing either, an Associate of Arts or an Associate of Science degree, what those students must take. It's also called general education courses, and you are, if you're pursuing one of those degrees, required to take these specific classes. And by taking these particular specific courses, you as a student are acquiring the necessary, knowledge, skills, and perspectives that are required of college-educated individuals. Essentially, it's the foundation of knowledge necessary to be considered college-educated. The core curriculum actually allows you as a student to gain this foundation knowledge in, and you can see it on the screen, human culture, the physical and natural world, developing personal and social responsibility, and advancing academic and practical skills and learning. So these courses are helping prepare you, the student, if you're planning on transferring to four-year institutions to pursue your Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science degrees. Now, the core curriculum that we just talked about includes what are called core objectives. And objectives is a key word in education. What does that mean? Well, objectives mean that after you have completed your degree or particular courses, you will have developed these knowledge and skill sets. Essentially, it boils down to what you should know and be able to do, knowledge and skills. Now, it happens that we have, as you count on the screen, we have 6 core objectives. Again, the knowledge and skill sets that you are developing by taking the courses outlined in that core curriculum. And in fact, each course you take at STC actually satisfies some of these requirements. And then when taken as a whole for your entire degree plan, you develop all of these 6 objectives. So what are the skill sets you'll be developing by taking the core curriculum? Let's go through the list. Critical thinking, communication, empirical quantitative, and teamwork skills, so the first 4, along with developing personal responsibility and social responsibility. So as we look at that list, those are some pretty good knowledge and skill sets to have in our academic, in our professional, in our social, and in our personal lives. So, how do we develop these core objectives? How do we develop these 6 skill sets that we just talked about? Well, they come from different courses in 9 different core component areas. So each of these core component areas helps you develop those core objectives or core skill sets of the core curriculum. All right, so our 9 core components, you can see them on the screen: communication, mathematics, life and physical sciences, language, philosophy and culture, creative arts, American history, government and political science, social and behavioral sciences, and a core component area option. So each of these components I just read focuses on a different core objective or objectives. So for example, which of the core component areas do you think maybe focuses on empirical and quantitative skills? Absolutely. And you would say, well, probably mathematics, right? And which one maybe do you think focuses on social responsibility? And so we could probably say, well, the government, right? And probably the social and behavioral sciences. And we could look at one, and say, well, which one focuses on communication skills? And of course, the communication core component area. But keep in mind that each course at STC focuses on a different core objective or even a set of different core objectives. But when they're all taken together, right, when we look at this as a big picture, all of the classes in the core curriculum in these 9 areas, you're going to be covering all 6 of these core objectives. And if you're curious what core objectives any one of your particular classes that you're taking, which of those core objectives are being fulfilled, just look at your course syllabus. You know, there's going to be an entire section detailing the knowledge and the skill sets, or you can say the core objectives that will be covered in that class. So it really all does tie together. There is a reason for all of this madness. So one of your 9 core component areas is communication. And as you can see here, 6 credit hours satisfy this area. And you take composition 1 and 2 and you satisfy that requirement. So anyone completing the core curriculum must take these 2 classes. Another of the core component areas, mathematics, and you need 3 to 4 credits in math. You can pick from the list that you see, but you do need to keep in mind that you can pick which course, but sometimes your specific degree plan makes a recommendation of one class over another, or your transfer institution does. So this gives you an overview, but then your decision actually may involve some other factors, looking at your specific degree plan for your program or a transfer institution. Another of the 9 core components, life and physical sciences, and here you need 8 credit hours. Again, a big list to choose from. It is your choice unless your major, your program, or the transfer institution recommends or dictates one. Yet another core component area is language, philosophy, and culture. Here we need 3 hours. Pick from the list or look at your degree plan, look at your transfer institution, and see if it calls for a particular course or courses. You also need 3 credit hours from the creative arts core component area. So you can pick from the list. And as always, look at your major degree plan and the transfer degree plan to see if they have recommendations. In the American History core component area, you need 6 credits, and you see they usually come from U.S. History 1 and 2 or from Mexican American History 1 and 2. In other words, everybody completing the core will need to do the U.S. History or the Mexican American History path. In government political science, you need 6 credit hours, and everybody needs federal government and Texas government. Everybody must take these 2 specific classes. In the social and behavioral sciences area, you need 3 credit hours. Again, the choices are listed, but look at your major and at your transfer institution to see if any are recommended or required there. And lastly, we get to choose 3 to 4 credits from the component area option. As always, check if your major or your transfer plan recommends any specific one of these classes.